Cigarettes are one of the most widely consumed products in the world, but have you ever wondered how they're made? It's a process that combines centuries-old agricultural practices with cutting-edge manufacturing technology. From the fields where tobacco is cultivated to the factories where it's transformed into the finished product, every step is carefully designed to create the cigarettes millions of people use every day. Let's take a closer look at this fascinating journey. It all began in the Americas, where indigenous peoples cultivated and smoked tobacco for thousands of years. Tobacco wasn't just a recreational pastime, it played a central role in religious rituals, healing practices, and social gatherings. They would smoke it in pipes, roll it in plant leaves, or use it in ceremonial fires. When European explorers arrived in the Americas in the 15th century, they brought tobacco back to Europe. Figures like Christopher Columbus and Sir Walter Raleigh introduced the plant to the continent, where it quickly became popular among the upper classes. At the time, it was consumed in pipes or as snuff, and many believed it had medicinal properties. The earliest form of cigarettes as we know them appeared in the 17th century, when European soldiers began rolling loose tobacco in paper. By the 19th century, hand-rolled cigarettes were becoming more common, especially in countries like Spain and France. The invention of rolling machines in the late 1800s revolutionized cigarette production, making them faster and cheaper to produce. However, as cigarette use skyrocketed, so did concerns about its impact on health. By the mid-20th century, studies began linking smoking to lung cancer, heart disease, and other illnesses. This led to widespread anti-smoking campaigns, warning labels, and stricter regulations on advertising and sales. Today, cigarettes remain a topic of debate, with millions still smoking despite the known risks. From its origins in sacred rituals to its rise as a cultural symbol, the history of cigarettes is a journey shaped by tradition, innovation, and controversy. But how are they made? Let's take a closer look at the process. It all begins in the fields. Tobacco is grown in warm climates, with the most common types being Virginia, Burley, and Oriental. Once the leaves are mature, they're carefully harvested and cured. This curing process, which can involve air drying, flue curing, or sun curing, gives the tobacco its distinct flavor and aroma. After curing, the tobacco leaves are transported to processing facilities. Here they're cleaned, shredded, and blended to create a consistent flavor profile. Additives, such as flavorings and humectants, are often mixed in to enhance the taste and prevent the tobacco from drying out. Once the tobacco is prepared, it's ready to be rolled. High-speed machines combine the shredded tobacco with cigarette paper, which is specially designed to burn evenly. Filters, typically made of cellulose acetate, are added to reduce the harshness of the smoke. Finally, the cigarettes are cut to size, usually around 84 millimeters for standard cigarettes. Quality control is a critical part of the process. Each cigarette is checked to ensure consistent weight, length, and density. Advanced technology even detects and rejects any imperfections, ensuring that every cigarette meets strict manufacturing standards. After rolling and inspection, the cigarettes are packed into cartons, sealed for freshness, and labeled with branding. From here, they're distributed to retailers worldwide, ready to reach consumers. While the production process is fascinating, it's important to remember the impact of cigarettes. Smoking is a leading cause of preventable diseases, and governments worldwide are implementing measures to reduce its prevalence. If you or someone you know is struggling with smoking, resources are available to help. Thanks for watching another episode of Behind the Make. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more insights into how this world is being made day by day. See you in the next video. Welcome to Behind the Make, where we take you behind the scenes to explore how everyday things are made. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of beer brewing, a process that dates back thousands of years. From the selection of quality ingredients to fermentation, filtration, and packaging, we'll uncover the craftsmanship and science behind every sip of your favorite brew. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode. And let us know in the comments, what's your favorite type of beer? Now, let's get into it. Beer, one of the world's oldest and most beloved beverages, has been enjoyed for thousands of years. Its origins trace back to ancient Mesopotamia, where early civilizations brewed primitive forms of beer as far back as 5000 BC. Over time, brewing evolved into an art and a science, shaping cultures and traditions across the globe. Beer is primarily crafted from 4 key ingredients: water, barley, hops, and yeast. Barley is the grain of choice for brewing because it produces an abundance of starch-digesting enzymes, which convert into fermentable sugars that eventually transform into alcohol. While barley is the most commonly used grain, brewers often incorporate other grains to create different beer styles and flavors. Hops come from the soft green cones of the hop plant, a perennial that has been cultivated since at least the 9th century. The alpha acids found in hops serve as the primary bittering agent in beer, while a substance called lupulin contributes to the brew's distinctive aromas and flavor notes, which can range from pine and citrus to fruity hints like banana. And then we have the yeast. The single-celled fungus plays a crucial role in fermentation. Much like it helps bread rise by breaking down sugars and releasing carbon dioxide, yeast in beer transforms sugars into alcohol and carbonation. Brewers use different strains, including active dry yeast, ale yeast, lager yeast, and liquid yeast, each imparting unique characteristics to the final brew. The journey of beer begins with malting, where barley grains are soaked in cold water for up to 72 hours. The grains are then aerated and allowed to germinate, activating enzymes that convert starches into fermentable sugars. After about 6 days, germination is halted by roasting, which influences the beer's flavor and color. The result is malt, the foundation of beer. Next comes mashing, where the malted barley is crushed into a coarse powder called grist and mixed with hot water in a large vessel called a mash tun. This process extracts sugars from the grain, creating a sweet liquid known as wort. The wort is then separated from the grain in a vessel called a lauter tun, and the remaining solids are often sold as animal feed. The wort then moves to boiling kettles, where it is sterilized and hops are added. Hops provide bitterness, aroma, and flavor. Those added early contribute bitterness, while late additions enhance flavor and aroma. Boiling also reduces water content and concentrates the wort. After boiling, the wort must be rapidly cooled before fermentation. This is done using a heat exchanger, which lowers the temperature to around 7 to 35 degrees Celsius, or 45 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the beer style. Fermentation is where yeast transforms the wort into beer by consuming sugars and producing alcohol and carbon dioxide. Primary fermentation lasts 1 to 2 weeks, while some beers undergo secondary fermentation for additional aging and refinement. Following fermentation, the beer enters the conditioning phase, where flavors develop and the beer clarifies. This process can take weeks to months. Some beers are pasteurized to kill remaining yeast and extend shelf life, a method developed by Louis Pasteur in the 1860s. However, draft beers skip this step, requiring refrigeration to maintain freshness and flavor. Once the beer has been pasteurized and is ready for consumption, it is packaged in various formats, including bottles, cans, or kegs. The packaging process is crucial for preserving the freshness, carbonation, and overall quality of the beer. After the beer is packaged, it is stored in a warehouse before being shipped to your local beer store, where it's ready to be enjoyed. And there you have it, the incredible journey of how beer is made. From selecting quality ingredients to fermentation, filtration, and packaging, every step in the brewing process requires expert craftsmanship, precision, and passion. We hope you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at how our favorite drink comes to life. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest episodes. Cheers to great beer. See you in the next video. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Make. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of tyre production, a process that has revolutionized transportation and keeps us moving every day. From the selection of raw materials like rubber, carbon black, and steel, to shaping, curing, and packaging, we'll uncover the craftsmanship and science behind the tyres that support our vehicles and keep our world moving. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Now, let's get into it. In 1839, Charles Goodyear accidentally discovered the process of vulcanizing rubber, revolutionizing tyre manufacturing. His breakthrough sparked a series of developments, leading to the creation of air-filled tyres in the early 20th century. Today, over 250 million new tyres are produced annually in factories around the world. Before a tyre can be mass-produced, engineers use specialized software to design and test its structure. This software simulates the performance of the tyre's tread and other design features. It generates a 3D color image of the tyre, calculating how various stresses will affect the design's durability. Once the design is finalized, production begins. A modern tyre is made up of 10 to 15 components, including natural and synthetic rubbers, chemicals, and carbon black. These materials are transported by rail to factories, where they are stored until needed. Computer systems measure and mix the rubber and chemicals in precise batches before they are sent into a Banbury mixer. This machine has two intermeshing rotors that knead and shear the mixture, blending the materials together. Before mixing begins, the Banbury mixer chamber is heated to soften the rubber, making it more pliable. The rotors rotate in opposite directions, creating the shearing and kneading action that combines the rubber with the other ingredients. Different formulations are used for various parts of the tyre, resulting in a rubbery dough that is rolled into sheets for further processing. For the tyre's ply, a fabric made of polyester unrolls into a machine called a calender, which applies warm rubber to both sides. This creates a rubber-coated fabric that reinforces the tyre. Rubber alone isn't durable enough for a tyre, so numerous cotton cords are added to the fabric to provide air channels and strengthen it. The tread, the outer layer of the tyre that touches the road, is made from a specially designed rubber compound. The tread rubber is produced using three distinct formulations. Extruders shape 3 strands of rubber, which are then combined into one continuous strip. The factory uses paint rollers to apply different coloured stripes to the rubber, marking the ingredients for easy identification. A blade cuts the tread rubber to the required length. Next, the tyre is assembled. It begins with a worker placing bead rings on a rotating drum. The inner liner, a thin rubber layer that prevents air loss and moisture infiltration, is applied. This liner also helps maintain proper tyre inflation. The corded ply, which provides structural integrity and resistance to internal pressure, is placed on top of the liner. Beads, which provide strength and shape to the tyre, are added next. Inflated bladders roll the rubber around the beads on both sides, retracting once complete. The sidewalls, made of rubber, are then applied to protect and add flexibility to the tyre. They also contain essential information like tyre size, brand, and other specifications. At this point, the tyre's inner structure is formed. The outer shell is created separately, starting with steel or other reinforcing belts wrapped around another drum. These belts enhance the tyre's strength, puncture resistance, and stability, especially at high speeds. The number of belts and their angles vary depending on the tyre's design. Narrow rubber strips are applied over the belts using a computerized system to ensure even tension. The tread is then added to complete the tyre assembly. The inner and outer parts of the tyre are joined using a transfer ring, and compressed air is used to inflate the tyre, causing all the layers to bond together. The tyre is now known as a green tyre, an uncured tyre that lacks the tread pattern. Until 1909, tyre assembly was done by hand. However, Goodyear's invention of the tyre building machine automated the process, increasing production from just 6 to 8 tyres per worker per day to 20 to 40 tyres, depending on the type. The green tyre is then placed inside a large mould for curing. The mould resembles a giant clam, which opens to reveal a flexible balloon called a bladder. As the mould closes, the bladder fills with steam, causing it to expand and shape the tyre. The steam heats the tyre to 280 degrees Fahrenheit, and the pressure forces the rubber into the mould's intricate design. During this curing process, the rubber undergoes vulcanization, a chemical reaction that turns it from a sticky, weak substance into a durable, elastic material. After the curing process, any excess rubber is trimmed, leaving a clean and smooth tread surface. The tyre is then inspected for defects and abnormalities to ensure quality control and safety. When a new tyre design is created, numerous tyres are taken from the production line for destructive testing. Some are cut open to examine air pockets, while others undergo tests to assess puncture resistance or simulate high-speed performance. The tyres are also tested for mileage by spinning them on metal drums under various conditions. Once the tyres pass all inspections and tests, they undergo finishing processes, such as adding a protective coating, marking the sidewalls with the brand name, size and specifications, and applying any necessary labelling. The completed tyres are then packaged for distribution. Tyres are typically stored in warehouses before being shipped to retailers or automotive manufacturers. The global tyre market reached a volume of $314.07 billion in 2022, driven by growing demand in developing regions and advancements in technology. This market is expected to continue growing as the global population increases. And there you have it, the incredible journey of how tyres are made. From designing the structure to mixing materials, moulding, and final testing, every step in the tyre production process requires expert craftsmanship, precision, and innovation. We hope you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at how tyres are made. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest episodes. See you in the next video.